Now, here's your host, Bob Baker.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in. On this episode of the podcast, I'm going to examine 5 music success questions. These are 5 questions that I think will help you get clear on the direction of your overall music career, and also 5 questions that when you really delve into them and answer them could actually help boost your music marketing and self-promotion efforts. What is this all about? Well, a few years ago, take your pick, I was reading an issue of Music Connection magazine, that long-running magazine published out of Los Angeles, and I was reading an interview with Cliff Magness. Now, he's a producer, and he's co-written songs with artists such as Avril Lavigne, Kelly Clarkson, Lisa Marie Presley, Charlotte Martin, and many more. Now, in the interview, when he was asked how he prepares for working with a new artist, Magness said he usually asks the artist these 5 key questions, and here they are. 1, what are your influences? 2, who are your favorite current artists? 3, how do you see yourself as an artist? 4, how do you want to be seen as an artist? And then 5, what kind of music career do you want to have in the future? Now, as a producer, Magness has his own set of reasons for asking these questions. But once I read them, I quickly realized that they are also great questions for any independent artist to ask themselves, especially when it comes to marketing. So let's go over them one by one. The first question, of course, helps answer that age-old question that we all get: who do you sound like? Now, in this context, your musical influences can be in any genre from any time throughout history. So while you may resist admitting that you sound like someone else in particular, certainly you have been influenced by some well-known artists. And most likely, fans of those artists could very well become fans of your music. So don't resist the urge to compare yourself to other artists, whether it's just for your own clarity on what you sound like, or especially when communicating with new fans. The next question, who are your favorite current artists, is a good one, because knowing who your favorite current artists are can help you understand where you fit in with the current cultural and musical landscape. Now, this may or may not be useful, considering that the commercial landscape mainly consists of major label artists, and you, of course, are operating in the indie realm where you shouldn't be as concerned with popular trends, what's selling, so on and so forth. Still, having an idea of who you sound like and how you compare with other artists of the past and the present will give you a great sense of where to focus your self-promotion energies. So, again, this is sort of 2 aspects of the same question. Who are your influences overall, ranging back from childhood? Could be somebody that performed and recorded decades before you were even born. And then also asking the question, who are your favorite current artists, is also a good one to sort of, it puts those influence in the context of what's happening right now. Now, moving on to questions 3 and 4, both of these questions likewise act as excellent self-examination probes, if you will. How you see yourself as an artist reveals a lot about your self-image. Therefore, the question, how do you see yourself as an artist? Not only does answering that question reveal your genre and the unique way that you approach it, but it also speaks volumes about your level of confidence, your clarity, and your own personal vision for your music. That 4th question, how do you want to be seen as an artist, brings to light whether or not there's a discrepancy between how you currently view yourself and how you ultimately want others to perceive you. Now, if the gap is a wide one, you may have some identity issues that you need to resolve before you go too far marketing yourself. You then run the risk of not communicating who you are musically clearly enough, or creating a situation where who you are is clear to everyone else except you. That's not a position that you want to be in. So again, how do you see yourself as an artist, and how do you want to be seen as an artist? I mean, those things seem like they're the same thing, but you need to make sure that they are in alignment in order for everything that you do to make sense and to be on solid footing. Okay, the final question about the career you want in the future is another great one. Where you eventually want to end up greatly determines the steps that you take today to get there. Most musicians focus on what's right in front of them, or they mull over their successes of the past or their failures of the past. But you also have to look to the future. You have to have a clear vision of what do I ultimately want to achieve, and what will getting there look like? As I discussed when I did earlier this year a series of prosperity planning workshops, I talked about having simultaneously having a clear vision of where you want to end up, while also having a clear sense of reality of where you are now, and then noticing the disparity between those two things. And it's the disparity, the tension between the life and the career that you want to have and you fully anticipate having at some future date. The disparity between that and where you are now creates a tension that you need to resolve by taking action, by taking the steps to pull, to shorten that distance. And that's what pulls you towards your goals. And most people, or I should say many people, live in one world or the other. They either totally live in the fantasy world of what they will someday be and completely ignoring where they currently are and deluding themselves, and that's not good. There's another group of people that just totally focus on the nitty-gritty of where they are and what they don't have, and they don't have the vision of a better life, and they pretty much feel like they're stuck wherever they are. And so the best, in my opinion, the best perspective to have is a clarity of both where you want to end up, see it, feel it, know it, expect it, but also realize where you are now, have a foot in the real world of what your current situation is, realize there's a difference between those two things, and let that difference pull you toward the thing that you want, creating the plans, taking the steps, having a positive attitude and an expectation that you will get what you want, and hopefully that what you want is in the service of others by serving others with your music. So, let's go over those 5 questions one more time. 1, what are your influences? 2, who are your favorite current artists? 3, how do you see yourself as an artist? 4, how do you want to be seen as an artist? And 5, what kind of music career do you want to have in the future? If you answer these questions in the clearest way possible, I think that it will help you get some clarity and get you moving more aggressively and more confidently toward your goals. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you've enjoyed this. See you next time.